Thanks to Dollar Shave Club for sponsoring this update. They've got everything you need to stay smooth and clean and nice smelling. Get their starter set for just $5 at dollarshaveclub.com/theknow. Welcome to The Know, I'm Ashley.
And I'm Adam.
Sea of Thieves has only been out for a day. Already, though, the waters are looking pretty rough for the game, judging by its technical issues, which have led to some very unhappy gamers.
Yeah, the original Blackbeard probably never had to deal with servers being down or latency issues, but they've definitely cut short a few pirate careers this week.
Yeah, well, those old pirate days were the best days, right? When we all had scurvy.
Yar.
The much anticipated multiplayer pirate action game has been bogged down by server problems, which have caused the developer to actually temporarily close off the game to new players. Meanwhile, those who were able to play have complained about a lack of content, which may be a much more troubling sign for the game long term.
Yes, it has been a rocky start for a game with a lot of hype and expectations surrounding it, especially for Microsoft, which definitely needs a hit for the struggling Xbox One.
Well, struggling is maybe a strong word. It's selling just fine, but you are right in that they are looking to bolster their first-party exclusive content lineup, and this was supposed to be one of the major tentpoles of that for the year. On the one hand, Microsoft does have what they wanted. After the game released yesterday, a bunch of gamers did flock to the game to see what it was all about. Twitch was full of streamers checking out the game for the first time, so that's good, right?
Yeah, the bad news is that it doesn't look like developer Rare, despite multiple stress tests over many beta tests, was ready for the swarm of players. Servers were overwhelmed, and finally yesterday evening they announced that they were having to temporarily suspend new players while they figured out a solution to the issue.
What I find interesting about that is they did a ton of betas, they did specifically stress tests. They had an idea how many people pre-ordered the game, and that's usually what developers will use to project the number of people that are buying the game on day one, and so on and so forth. So it's crazy they seem so caught off guard by the number of people jumping in on day one. The only thing I can guess is that maybe a bunch of people are using Xbox Game Pass, because Xbox Game Pass does have Sea of Thieves day one, so maybe more people than expected decided to use that to jump in and give it a try, and they did not account for that number of players.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So it's a theory, but it's just speculation on our part.
Regardless, it's a technical faceplant is not the look Rare and Microsoft wanted to be going for in their first day of release. Ideally, you'd want as many people playing your game, having a good time, and telling their friends to come join.
Yeah, the last thing you want is for technical issues to keep them from getting in the game before they finally, quit in frustration and go back to playing Fortnite.
And while it looks like the servers are back up today, you only get one chance to make a first impression. So this could be a bad start for Sea of Thieves.
Although, it is worth noting, even Fortnite did have issues. Not a launch where their servers were so overloaded that no one could join games. So it has happened there as well. It didn't exactly slow that game down. So this doesn't mean it's a death sentence for the game. Plenty of games recover, and day one of online games in particular rarely goes smooth. But that doesn't mean it's a good thing to have. It's not.
Oh, and adding to the problems surrounding the game, we've also heard that gamers in some European countries like Greece, the Ukraine, and Lithuania can't even buy the game because the purchase option is not available on the Microsoft Store, leading some to wonder if there's some kind of region locking issue already.
Yeah, but that's just one report we've had, so we're gonna dig into that a little bit more when we get a chance. Sea of Thieves released yesterday for PC and as a console exclusive for Xbox One, and that game actually promises some really fun multiplayer action. You can crew up with your friends, sail the high seas, go on voyages, search for treasure, battle rival pirates, take their loot, go fight skeletons. They've got raids, which are kind of crazy. So there's a lot of fun premise there.
Yeah, and we've definitely heard good things about the game thanks to all the betas, which we assumed were to stress test the game server and systems. Though, given the complaints, maybe they were testing something else. The shark and fish balance, maybe? Fish AI?
Fish AI! Things like servers are really important because, look, this is a multiplayer game. There is no single player campaign. You cannot play it offline. It's all about playing with friends or enemies or frenemies, whatever, online.
US Gamer in its review says that when Sea of Thieves works, it's a lot of fun. Its reviewer wrote, "It's feast or famine. At its best, it's like a pirate role-playing adventure. At its worst, it's tedium and trolling, hopping from game to game in the hopes that you'll find a solid crew while you wait for your friends to get online. Matchmaking is key in Sea of Thieves. Without it, you have almost nothing."
And you had that. You logged in and what happened to you?
The first 3 games I played, I loaded into the brig because there's a vote to brig system and you can't get out of it.
You have to quit the game and then go find another game.
Yes, it's so frustrating.
A little bit trolly. Funny idea, but in execution, yeah, they're pretty much just making you quit, probably so they can try and get a friend in.
Right.
I haven't been playing with randoms. I play either just me and Bernie, or we play with the boys, and so we have our pirate crew of 4. We bought grog cups. They're amazing.
That's
So we don't play with randoms. I imagine that experience very different.
Yeah.
And while the combat in the game is nothing like Fortnite or PUBG or even Overwatch, other online games, they are similar in the fact that, hey, they are all multiplayer games at heart, and if the servers aren't working, there's really no game.
Since the game launched yesterday, players have had problems like laggy gameplay, failure to connect errors, and even worse, some saw their precious booty and progression disappear.
Yeah, I had some gold disappear. I was mad at first. Early in the afternoon, Rare acknowledged the issues and tweeted, "We've got a lot of eager pirates playing Sea of Thieves right now, and due to this, some of you may experience issues. Our engineers are working hard to investigate and alleviate them."
But the problems didn't let up, and 3 hours later, Rare waved the white flag, tweeting, "In order to resolve the issues players are seeing with the servers, we will be temporarily suspending new players joining the game. We'll get everyone back in and playing as quickly as we can."
And as of today, looks like all the servers they're open, they're ready to go, which is obviously a good thing if you're trying to sell a game, because then your customers can play the game. It's also a strong upside for anyone who's going to buy the game, because they also want to, play it.
That wasn't the only issue players are facing with the game. Players who were able to get in the game were complaining that they ran out of things to do after just a few hours. Gamers specifically complained about a lack of cosmetic items for their characters and their ships.
But the devs do promise more is coming. Sea of Thieves executive producer Joe Neate responded to the content issue, telling IGN, "Sea of Thieves is designed from the ground up to be a game that grows and evolves, and we will release new cosmetic options ongoing as part of that, alongside new mechanics and ways to play. Our focus for launch is on delivering a great initial experience, and as we move beyond launch, we will be assessing and reacting to player feedback across all areas of the game."
And that content issue could be a bigger problem for them than the servers in the long run. Because while servers are a pain, they're also a fact of life for new games. They suck, but they also usually get resolved.
Right. I mean, I was playing pretty steadily by last night.
Yeah.
But a lack of content could result in the worst case scenario for Rare and Microsoft, and that's all those players getting bored and moving on to other games before that new stuff gets added in.
Yeah, it's a huge worry. The current content complaints have also been a concern to some reviewers of the game who said they had fun, but wondered if there was enough content to sustain most gamers.
IGN's reviewer wrote, "My biggest concerns moving into the full game are how much structure and repetition is in store for us. The beta's main progression loops were rinse and repeat fetch quests from one of 2 merchants to earn gold and reputation, but even with the generous number of beta tests, we're still left wondering how much more is there to Sea of Thieves."
Of course, there's a lot of games that had a terrible first start but later recovered.
That's true.
Like Sea of Thieves, the original Destiny had a major content problem when it launched in 2014. Gamers really enjoyed the beta, but it turned out that there really wasn't a whole lot more than that.
Now, Bungie did respond with more content eventually. Destiny went on to be a pretty big hit. It took a few expansions, but they got there, and in the end, a lot of people kind of forgot that it had been a painful launch. But then the same issues happened last year with the launch of Destiny 2, and they're still trying to dig themselves out of that hole.
And Grand Theft Auto Online players might remember that it had major server issues when it started. Heists were a major selling point of the game when they came out, a year and a half after the game?
Yeah.
But they finally righted that ship, and the game is a huge moneymaker for Rockstar.
And also, who can forget Diablo 3's launch in 2012? It's a legendary Error 37.
Never forget.
Never forget. Although, you know what? Once I got playing and got having fun, I did forget. That Error 37 was actually caused by the overload of the Battle.net login servers, and it meant that no one could play at all, even if they wanted to just play single player. So that sucked. At the time, it confirmed a lot of people's suspicions too about single player games with online components or required online, even for single player.
Right. But again, Diablo recovered and it bounced back in a major way.
I love Diablo 3. I really want Diablo 4. MMOs, similar problems too. World of Warcraft had huge server issues when it launched, and also, speaking of content issues, Final Fantasy XIV was so criticized for its broken gameplay, Square Enix pretty much they shut it down and they did a massive overhaul, but then it came out great. So honestly, both of those games successfully rebounded very, very successfully. So good for them.
Yep, so we'll see what happens, but there is hope, and hopefully Rare can right the ship. The ship. Day one issues suck, but history has shown that if they're dealt with and there's a good game underneath, that they're not necessarily the kiss of death.
And hopefully that's the case with Sea of Thieves, because fans definitely deserve it. It looks like a fun game to play. I played through several of the betas and had a great time. I did wonder at the time, because they were changing conditions across the different betas, what the final game would look like. Now we have that, and it does turn out to be mostly like more cosmetics, although you can do, there's new types of missions. You can do the chicken coops that they introduced in the final beta. You can take on missions to go do skeletons. There's raids. I've heard reports of the Kraken already. So there's stuff there, but the gameplay loops that I had last night were very reminiscent of the beta.
Sure.
So the depth, I'm curious to see where we go from here.
Right. What do you guys think of Sea of Thieves? Day one issues. Did you have problems? Let us know in the comments.
And for all your Sea of Thieves news and pirate puns on talking about ships and stuff, be sure to like this video. If you're new around here, subscribe to the know. Shout out to Dollar Shave Club for sponsoring this update. Dollar Shave Club has gone way beyond just razors, although those are great. Now they've got everything from hair products to body cleanser to skincare, so you can keep yourself smooth and clean head to butt to toe, and you'll smell great in the process. Personal recommendation from me, the Amber Lavender Soap. It smells really nice, but I'm also a sucker for anything lavender, so that's not terribly surprising. Like everything else from Dollar Shave Club, they deliver right to you, so you don't need to wander around the store looking for an employee to unlock the razor case, because that's just annoying. And every product is their own original stuff made with premium ingredients. You can get your first month of their best razor, that's the executive razor, along with travel size versions of shave butter, body cleanser, even butt wipes for $5. After that, replacement razor cartridges ship for just a few bucks a month. So get your starter set for just $5 when you go to dollarshaveclub.com/theknow. I love it. I used to just use the same razor for months because I couldn't be bothered going to the store. Now I get a new one every single week.